His final flourish was to score the goal of the competition in Euro '96 and to mock the media with his outrageous celebration. Rude and crude, the drinking man's choice is football's clown prince, Paul Gascoigne, bad boy number 8. The stopper, the chopper, the hacker, the butcher. The last line of defense, and every team needs one. They are only following orders, but often go well over the top. The 1970s was a golden age for this breed of uncompromising English player.
Once you stepped on that football field and you put that shirt on, fair means or foul, there was no way I was going to let anybody. And if I could bend the rules and get away with it, I would have done.
Every side had a similar type of player to what I was, that won the ball in the tackle, put some stick about, most probably put the field across up 90% of the forwards, and you know, it went on from there.
I was happily brought up at Liverpool at the early age to bully people, and not necessarily for your own good, but for the club's good.
These English hard men made little impact on the international stage, so we reject them. For serious cloggers, you simply have to travel.
Away we go, the vital match then in the group.
It was an evil game. It was a game that I really did not enjoy playing in. Our coaching staff said that they would come for us right away, and we knew it would come. It did not become that quickly right enough after 40 seconds or whatever it was.
Strachan is prostrate and he's sent off. Uruguay are down to 10 men within the first 60 seconds of the match.
Batista's 55-second sending off remains a World Cup record, but we could do worse. One of today's butchers is another Uruguayan. Paulo Montero dismantles the opposition for Juventus. In just 5 seasons, he's received 12 red and 42 yellow cards, a new Italian record. But even his full-blooded tackles cannot compete with the butcher's butcher, Andoni Coicoechea, a Spanish international, the infamous butcher of Bilbao. Coicoechea was a classic international hardman. The Basque assassin spent most of his career at Atletico Bilbao, and he seemed to have a particular dislike for the superstars at Catalan mega club Barcelona, though he was happy enough to chop anyone trying to get past him, as Liverpool's Ian Rush found to his cost.
The butcher of Bilbao, he was a massive lad, very, very strong, but he had only one for me. His main thing was, if he don't get the ball, he gets the player.
Scurrilous rumours that the Basque heartthrob was sponsored by a firm of crutch manufacturers proved entirely unfounded.
Definitely out to injure players, without doubt, and if you got in the way of it, you know, it was unfortunate, but, you know, I saw Coicoechea quite a few times, his challenges, and there was some pretty bad ones among them.
This is the moment that sets him apart and seals his place in football's Hall of Shame. A vicious assault on Diego Maradona.
It was unusual for us, and not the sort of game either Barcelona or us are used to. We shall have to see what happens.
Coicoechea was banned for 16 games. Maradona's ankle was dislocated and his ligaments were wrecked. It was feared that he would never play again. The master butcher of Bilbao still keeps the boots that did the damage in a glass case in his house. At number 3, the butcher's butcher, Andoni Coicoechea. After the break, British soccer's first playboy and the infamous animal of Brazil. At number 11 for the Bad Boys International is the original flawed genius. He was British football's first playboy superstar. A gifted player, prolific drinker, and incorrigible womanizer, the envy of men around the world. But through a life of excess, this dazzling talent became a manager's worst nightmare. A truly great player who wasted the best part of his career. George Best is our number 11. With his flair on the pitch and his hair off it, Best drove the media into a frenzy. Everyone loved Best, and Best loved the attention.
I became not a footballer, but a personality. So I was in more magazines for clothes I wore than I was for football.
He escaped from the madness into drink, and then started becoming wayward and not turning up for training, and absolutely inventing the idea that you didn't need to train, you just needed to turn up.
I'll never forget going to Old Trafford for a game and talking to Dave Sadler. He said, George has been out all night to somewhere. He said, he looks well the worse for wear, you know? I went back in the dressing room. I said, I said, Best is struggling. He's been out all night. I said, he says, he's in a right mess, been to a party with a couple of birds or something, you know? He went, oh, great, you know? He went out and he got a hat-trick.
George Best sold 2 dummies and now has made a chance for himself. His hat-trick!
But as the champagne flowed, Best was drowning, not waving.
Eventually caught up with him. I think you can get away with it up to about 24, 25 years of age. After that, you're not going to get away with it.
The booze, the women, and the fame were taking their toll. What started as a lark had become a habit, an addiction. His life was becoming chaotic. Training went by the board, and his manager took steps to impose order.
He's been directed to go to live with Mr. and Mrs. Paddy Crerand for a time to enable him to regular habits which he finds difficult to do living on his own.
George stuck it for, I think, 3 days, and he had enough of it.
I was probably earning about £5,000 a week, but I was spending about 8,000, which is not good. But my accountant wasn't very happy.
As his playboy life spiraled out of control, Manchester United lost patience. They tried to sell him, failed, and he was given a last chance by new manager Tommy Docherty.
Door knocked, and it was Tommy Cavan opened the door. He said to me, boss, I said, yeah. He said, it's the queer fella, which we used to call him, the queer fella. So I went to the door, and George was there with a young lady, and he was in, I can assure you, he was in no condition to play football. And I said, George, come back Monday, and we'll discuss it then. I want to play. I said, well, come back Monday, and we'll discuss it then. I said, you're in no fit condition to play. Off he went, and we never saw him again.
A lot of his problems were down to the fact that he looked at life and thought, you know, it's a strange business this, I'll have another drink.
Dead good, but dead drunk. George Best, at number 11. The bad boy's number 9 is a Brazilian striker. He displays the exuberant football skills for which his country is famous. But he has a more sinister side. His record includes illegal gambling, disputed paternity suits, manager conflict, and an unscheduled mid-season break for the carnival. Wherever he goes, violence and destruction usually follow. No doubt about it, Edmundo is our number 9. Edmundo's most recent clash with the law came last year at his son's first birthday party, where he tried to add to the lavish entertainment by getting a chimpanzee drunk. He was fined £650 for cruelty to animals.
Oh, Edmundo is an absolute lunatic. He's nicknamed the animal, and he's perpetually fighting with people, fighting with journalists, fighting with other players, or even his own side. Oh, he's a monstrous figure, a magnificent talent.
Fans celebrate wildly when Edmundo joins a club, and managers rejoice when he leaves. After he punched a Bolivian opponent, his national manager Zagallo wondered if he needed psychiatric help.
Yeah, he looks difficult to handle. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'd enjoy managing him too much. He's obviously got a screw loose somewhere.